get it. Bye-bye. See you later.
Stop, never thrall that's happening.
Alright, so I already made a video about Christianity. However, the problem with that video is that it was recorded at 6 in the morning, and I was really freaking tired, and I didn't really want to do anything for that video for a prolonged period of time. So I just wanted to get it out and done and over with. However, a consequence of that was a bunch of idiots spamming "Jesus loves you" in my fucking comment section. Look, I'm gonna get to this later in the video, but for now, all I gotta say this. If you're gonna spam "Jesus loves you" in a comment section to someone who hates Jesus, just know that that's not gonna make me love Jesus and Christianity all of a sudden. That's gonna make me hate it even more. But yeah, let's get to the video proper. So in the original video, I talked about the idea of truth being dictated by reality. Well, that's what most normal people think, right? Truth is obviously dictated by reality, you know? However, the thing about it is that there's a lot of idiots out there that think reality is dictated by truth. Not truth in the sense that it's, dictated by reality. No, it's what they see as reality, right? Let me explain. So you saw how in the intro I made fun of these people for thinking that woodpeckers debunk evolution, right? That because they see like the way the skull is shaped for a woodpecker, and they think, oh, there's no way another animal came before that. Like this is surely to debunk thing that a rational human being were to think, right? Except in the intro of this video alone, yes, intro, because people weren't going to make it to the part where I actually talk about it, so I had to jam it into the intro, right? In the intro, I actually showed the fossil records for these previous woodpeckers that exist before the modern day woodpeckers that we have nowadays. Aside from the fact that there are prehistoric woodpeckers that exist, even then, nowadays we have so many different species of woodpeckers out there that exist, to the point where if you say woodpecker, all I gotta say to rebuttal is, okay, which one? Because when I hear this fucking bullshit, I can't help but just think to myself that these people don't do no research whatsoever and only listen to what their fucking Bible says. I've stated many times before the past that religion is man-made. And anytime I hear them say, oh, well, no, it's not. Why do you think that? Where do you see books being, planted and grown out of trees, huh? Where do you fucking see that? I know you could make the argument that paper is made out of wood and you could use that to, do stuff, but guess what? That was a man-made involvement, right? It was the men and the women out there that cut down the trees and turned it into paper. You don't see that just happening naturally in nature. So, yeah, religion is man-made. End of story. But you know what? You have all these people talking about Jesus loves you in my comment section. I just gotta say to you guys this. Jesus is an evil, vindictive maniac who wants to go out of his way to destroy the world. Why do I say this? Well, in the Bible, it actually tells you to hate the world. As a matter of fact, here's the exact quote. Do not love the world or the things of the world. So, yes, it tells you to fucking hate the world. Jesus just wants us all to fucking die and be up there in heaven with him, where he can fucking brainwash us and make him suck his dick constantly. Now, I don't mean suck his dick in the literal sense, because I know you Christians are going to hear me say that and try and twist it into that. No. What I mean is, he wants us to pretty much live eternity in church. That's all heaven is. Now, the thing about it is that I say that because, the idea of heaven is, quote unquote, paradise, right? but it could only be considered as paradise is if you're resolved of all sin, basically making you into an automaton as opposed to an actual human being. So, yeah, you're not human anymore. You're a zombie of God now when you're in heaven. And that's why I don't consider the heaven in the Bible to actually be heaven. For one to be happy is for one to sin. And any form of happiness in the Bible is conductive evil. So, yeah. As a matter of fact, isn't the rapture literally just a genocide? Like, think about it. The idea of the rapture is for pretty much all of humanity to go extinct and, be up in heaven where their minds can be erased and turned into mindless drones that only exist just to worship God, right? Like, that's pretty much what the rapture is. And the thing about it is that I don't fucking like that. I don't feel comfortable with that. I feel like it's evil. I feel like it's horrible. I feel like it only exists just for no other reason but for it to be a death cult. Because that's what Christianity is. I've said it before in the past. I'm going to say it again. It's a death cult, right? Because you have the rapture, which, is a prophecy of genocide, which is supposed to be, seen as a good thing. Then you have the idea of hating the world being considered a virtue. Like, what else could there be to, consider Christianity to be a death cult? Well, there's more to it than just that. Just listen in, guys. Behold, the seven deadly sins. Now, the thing about the seven deadly sins is that there are only two in particular that I think shouldn't be sins, but are only sins just to hammer in the point that being a human being is bad and evil and needs to be destroyed and demolished under the name of God, right? So, what are these two sins in particular? Lust and pride. Now, the thing with pride is that it's more than just a gay thing, right? Straight people can have pride. Like, let's say this, right? When it comes down to, accomplishing something, you'd feel proud of yourself, wouldn't you? So, yeah. As a matter of fact, is that what God felt when he created the world? Didn't he feel some semblance of pride? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. God saw the earth and he when he created it, and he said it was good, right? Like the thing about it is that he was happy with what he created. He was proud of it. So shouldn't God be fucking murdered by all of us and fucking, put it decapitated and put his head on a pike because he's committing lust and pride and the sin and evil, right? Like, I think that maybe, you Christians should probably do that because he's committing sin. Your God is evil by your own logic. So, yeah, this one really fucking pisses me off to no end. Lust. So, lust is more than just a sexual thing, right? But I'll get into the sexual side of it when I feel like I need to, because that part is just as important as the parts that have nothing to do with it. So, lust is essentially a desire, right? The desire to be more than who you are, right? The thing about it is that now that I'm saying it out loud, maybe the reason why desire is so frowned upon by God is because he doesn't want us to revolt against his tyranny, right? Because here's the thing, I get it, right? You guys see the idea of revolting against authority as a bad thing. But the thing about it is that we human beings should be able to have our, freedom to be able to live our lives the way we want to. Being fucking seized upon and sickened to by the fucking Christians. Fucking points his finger and he says, fucking attack these pieces of shit. And he does that, and you Christians go into people's comment section and types, Jesus loves you, and all of them, right? And all that fucking bullshit. And the thing about it is that when you people do that, it only strengthens my desire to revolt. That's all it ever does. Because, in all honesty, like, the whole thing about it is that authoritarianism, in and of itself, is inherently evil. Alright? I'm just gonna say it straight up, no matter who it's coming from. So, yeah. And with that being said, let's talk about the sexual side of lust, right? Now, here's the thing, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that all rules in the Bible are inherently bad. Like, thou shalt not kill, you know what? Fine. That's a good rule. But when it comes to invading people's personal liberties and doing stuff that's not hurting anybody, that's a problem. Like, I'm just going to be honest with you, right? If it's between two consenting adults and they're both enjoying it and there's no semblance of pain to be seen, then why does it matter? Oh, well, God said so. Fuck you. I hope you fucking commit suicide and cut your fucking throat out of your own fucking skin. Because honestly, I just feel like that anyone who thinks this way when it comes to, all this shit when it comes to lust are pieces of shit, just in general, because they want to invade your freedom to be able to do with what you want with your body. I've heard the whole "my body, my choice" argument from Christians, and I just want to hear that. Yeah, and I want to ask you, what is so bad about wanting bodily autonomy? No, genuinely, what is so bad about it? Why should God be able to dictate what I do with my body? Why? I'm genuinely curious about that. Like, here's the thing. If God was making decisions for himself, then you know what? Fine. But as soon as he starts to get into other people's business, that's when I have a fucking issue. And I want to take part in destroying him. Alright? Now, you may hear this coming from me throughout this video, seeing me get all angry and worked up, and you may be asking, why do you have such a hateful vendetta against Christianity and God? Well, it's because for the longest time, I wanted to express my freedom and emotions when it comes to people who I love, right? Whether that being fictional or real. And the thing about it is that anytime I do that, I always get attacked by people who use Christianity as arguments for why I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And honestly, I feel like that's fucked beyond belief. You can't just use a religion that I'm not even a part of, might I add, as a reason for why I should stop expressing my love. Like, here's the thing. I'm not Christian. However, a lot of people try and intertwine my religion to Christianity. Guess what? Judaism and Christianity are not the same thing. And if you claim that it's the same thing, then you're no better than the people who tried to wipe out the Jews in the 1930s and 40s. No, I am dead fucking serious. Because what you're doing is a cultural genocide, essentially. You think that you could just say that our religion is the same thing, just so our religion, like my religion, Judaism, could fade away into obscurity, and you can have your fucking supremacy over us. Fuck that. We're gonna revolt against you because you don't fucking dominate us in any way, shape, or form. We will fight back. Fucking Christian scumbags. Guess what? That's not even the only religion I'm a part of. I'm also in support of Gnosticism. Why is that? Because Gnosticism actually points to Christianity and says that it's evil. Because it is. The God in the Bible, I would like to call Yaldabaoth, right? Like referring to him as God. But it's so hard not to because it's ingrained in our culture. And I feel like that's horrible. So from now on, let's take an oath and point to the God in the Bible and call him Yaldabaoth. Because that's what he fucking is. He's a fucking tyrant. Just like in Gnosticism, right? In a sense, you could say that I'm polytheistic, right? Like, the good God that I believe is like the God that's like actually good and is helping us and is the reason why we have free will is Elohim, right? And the evil God is Yaldabaoth. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Now I know some of you are going to be all like, "Oh, what about Satan?" I believe Satan exists because I feel like Satan is just an excuse to say, "Oh, Yaldabaoth, right? He's actually the good guy, isn't he?" Well, no, he's not. Fuck Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth is a piece of shit, and he's covering up with what he does with the fucking fictional demon. Oh, Satan this, Satan that. There is no Satan. It's all Yaldabaoth. I might think about getting into paganism out of spite, but I don't 100% know if I should do that or not. On one hand, it is a good idea to make Christians upset, but on the other hand, there were some really bad people who believed in, paganism. But at the same time, this same excuse has been thrown at people who believe in Gnosticism as well, too. It's like the Hitler drinks water argument. Oh, Hitler drinks water, therefore you shouldn't, right? Like, come on, that's a load of fucking bullshit. So, honestly, I feel like the best thing to do would probably be to hold off on, thinking about it like that. But I'll have to do my own research on paganism to really see if it's actually worth it or not. So, yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. If you're a Christian and you're watching this, please never go on my channel ever again. Don't comment on here. Don't watch any of my videos. I don't want to hear or see or anything like that. I hate Christianity. And if you're a Christian who's only here to, spread propaganda in my comment section, then I will come after you. So, yeah, that's about it. All right, see ya.